Let's go.
What a lovely day!
Andy, there's a whole world out there. Jump in.
Can you dig it?
Yeah.
You must always pay strict attention.
I was just completely enamored by it the entire time.
Dude, he did not have to go that hard.
I know, man. Isn't it wild?
The Jaredcast.
So it begins.
Yeah, it's your turn, right?
Turn? Yeah. Psycho and Raw up next. We already kind of detailed our opening thoughts on all of these, so we'll keep these real quick. Psycho, absolute classic. Deserves its spot. But this is our favorites, not the best, and I like Raw a little bit more. I think it's more fun to watch. I care more about the characters. 9 days out of 10, if you ask me which movie I want to watch, it'll be Raw. Not to discount Psycho, it deserves all the praise it gets. Like you said in the first round, it's also not my favorite Hitchcock movie. I give that to Rear Window. But it's also a fantastic movie.
Yeah, and Psycho is kind of became popular because of its approach to taboo, and but what greater taboo than what greater taboo can there be than cannibalism?
Yeah.
And so this is a very easy choice for me. I think even the way she handles the taboo is not like. Psycho is very salacious in the way that it approaches taboo, and Raw is very affectionate and very, and it makes the taboo that much more disturbing and more emotionally affecting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, upset with the 16 seed beating out the number 1 seed.
Yeah. Hereditary versus Cabin in the Woods. This is an interesting one. I think Cabin in the Woods is one of the greatest horror satires of all time. There's a reason why it came out, 5 years ago or 6 years ago or whatever. No, actually more than that, almost 10 years ago, like I think 8 or 7 years ago. It was being taught in film school when I was in like 2018 and 2017. And there's a total good reason for that, but Hereditary is one of the more devastating movies on this list. I think both are very highly praised to the point where it's kind of annoying how much praise they get. But I think I got to give it to Hereditary still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, this is a pretty easy decision. I love Cabin in the Woods. I think it's a great horror satire. Like you said, it does something I don't think I've seen any other horror movie pull off that it is satirical but also scary. It affirms what it's satirizing, which is rare, and that's something to cherish and hold on to. But Hereditary is just a better movie. It's better acted. It's more memorable. It's scarier. Through and through, I got to give it to Hereditary.
Yes. Excuse me.
You're excused. The Thing and Under the Shadow. I spent a long time praising The Thing, so this might not come as a surprise for anybody. I'm leaning The Thing. I think it's a more captivating movie for me. I praised Under the Shadow for what it has to say and its execution in that. I think it's fantastic. But if it comes to burning an amalgamation of whatever this thing wants to try to transform into and a Colgate commercial, I don't want to spoil that scare. I think I got to go with the flamethrower. It's more fun. It's got some legacy and nostalgia value too. But even with that aside, I think The Thing is a better movie than Under the Shadow personally.
I agree. As much as I love Under the Shadow, as much as I love the lead performance, and as much as I love the directing, and as much as those jump scares still get me, I the thing is the thing. It
The thing
it,
is the
it
thing is the thing is the thing.
it has that it factor of just everything coming together. You have, really tough men up against a unstoppable beast. You have a really bleak ending, like Under the Shadow is very emotionally resonant, but still kind of cool to watch. Um, I think Keith David and Kurt Russell are such amazing actors, especially in that last scene. That's still being debated to this day about the meaning behind it and what actually happens and what would happen next. Yeah, the thing.
It was your turn.
Okay, yeah. Man, I as much as I love I Saw the Devil, I hate that you put Shaun of the Dead here because it's just gonna plow through everything. It's so good.
It
It's
got
so
such a
damn good.
weird spot that it like is gonna just keep persevering.
I love this movie so much that I hate that it's on this list because I Saw the Devil is one of the best horror movies of all time. But I gotta give it to a zombie comedy, a British zombie comedy. And I'll say this about it: it's a universal movie, but because of the level of control that Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg have over the writing, because of the level of control Edgar Wright has over the editing and the camera work and the blocking between all the characters, I think the movie still feels like an indie movie, and I think that you just that's another thing like Poltergeist. It's lightning in a bottle that never really happens. That rarely ever happens, I should say. So, I Saw the Devil is beautiful. It's devastating. It's tragic. It's really, really, really disturbing, especially a certain scene involving a taxi. So, I highly recommend you guys check it out. Very, very good movie.
Yeah. All the love in the world for I Saw the Devil. I think it deserves all the praise we've given it. Definitely one to watch. One of the best Korean horror films of all time that I've seen, easily. But Shaun of the Dead is just too good. It's just too good. Edgar Wright and even Taika Waititi are keeping comedy alive in film, and I gotta give it to him.
Round 3 is going to be so painful.
I hate it already. Just watching the matchups that we have here hurts my body.
Yeah. All right.
Even this one's pretty tough, not gonna lie. Rosemary's Baby versus The Exorcist. I love these movies pretty fucking equally. I'm not gonna lie. The Exorcist, I mentioned, all the praise in the world. I love it. The score's fantastic. Performances are great. Possession scenes are great. Even the practical effects of her like on the fucking ceiling and shit look fantastic today. But Rosemary's Baby's just got so much meat on its bones. I think it's the more character-driven film, and I think that's the tiebreaker here. If I were to score these, it's like 0.1 or 0.2 ahead of The Exorcist, maybe. And that depends on the day, too. So it's very close. I think these two are both classics and both deserve that title. But I think I have to give it to Rosemary.
I agree. I don't feel as strongly about The Exorcist as you do. I do agree that it's one of the best, the most influential movies on this list. I think the score is a bop, but the score for Rosemary's Baby is like really, it's really it adds to that twisted layer of terror by I can't pronounce his first, Christoph Komeda. Yeah, I really love the score in this movie. You can feel Rosemary's Baby's influence on Get Out and Hereditary for a reason. It's because this movie buried itself in people's brains from 1968 on, and the balance between the themes of the Catholic Church and modern society, I think is much more it's much more subtle, and I think that makes it more that makes it better, I think.
Yeah,
Whereas the
fair enough.
Exorcist is just, I have doubts now, I don't. You know,
Yeah.
I do love the movie, and I love William Friedkin though. Okay, so The Descent, far scarier than The Shining.
Absolutely. Every day of the week.
The Shining, more original. Even though it's based on even though it's an adaptation, I think The Descent kind of wears, has very overt references to Carrie and to Apocalypse Now. And I'm like, why is this here? But on the other hand, it's just executed so well, and it looks so great. So when you get to that final fight between Sarah and Juno and the three creatures, crawlers as they were known in the film, I think it's really, really badass and really cool and really earned. And I don't know. I gotta go The Descent. As this may be cinematically blasphemous, but I think it's scarier, and I think that gives it the edge for me.
Yeah. I'm torn because I agree. I think The Descent is scarier. I love its claustrophobia. I think the performances are strong, and I think the creature design is fantastic. Where The Shining lives, I think it wins in the acting department, definitely in the cinematography department. Despite the impressive sets and setting that The Descent has, I think you can't top the cinematography of The Shining.
No.
I think the characters are more compelling. I think it handles isolation a lot better. Something that's kind of teased in The Descent, but they don't really commit, so it's not like that's a big category for these two. So I am incredibly torn. I think I give the edge to The Shining personally, but I am willing to concede The Descent to move on to the next round. I think, regretfully, but I think I'm willing to.
It's weird, right? Because you have Neil Marshall, who's still kind of developing as a filmmaker. He's still relatively young, and then The Shining is Kubrick at a much more complete stage in his life, in his career. I you know I don't know if I agree that I like the characters better in The Shining. I think
Really?
that, well, yeah, because the family, like, what I like about this is one thing that I love about them, which is that they don't that they feel more like archetypes, and they feel more like they're symbols for uh addiction and abuse and trauma, and Danny being the kind of thing that ties everything together. Danny being a symbol of innocence in the supernatural world, and being a pure supernatural force thrown into a negative supernatural force. But I think the characters in The Descent they feel like real people, and they feel like people that I know and that I talk to. And, you know,
Like, it comes down to The Shining is, I think, cinematically the better movie, but this is a favorite movie list, not best list. And so I think that that's why I'm okay doing The Descent, because I would rather watch The Descent than The Shining again, but I also just rewatched The Shining.
yeah, I don't know though, because I do. It's just so well shot. It's
Yeah.
The Shining
It's so
is so
beautiful.
good. Oh my
It
god!
is. It is a fucking fantastic movie. And I think it
Three
is
of the best
better.
close-ups of all time.
Mhm.
God damn it!
sound
All right.
design.
Oh shit! I forgot about. Yeah. Fuck.
It's tough. It is tough. I'm okay either way. I'll let this be your call. You've conceded 2 to the one I wanted, so I'm giving you the final say on this. But we're both pretty much tied with these movies.
Yeah. Let's give it
You
to The
trying to look
Shining
to
because
see what it's gonna face.
yeah, let's give it to The Shining because I really wanted The Descent to make it to the semifinals, but I don't think that's gonna happen with Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah.
So let's
Let's give The Shining a little bit of credit before it gets eliminated.
yeah. Well, we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? They're both fantastic. Speaking of both fantastic, Alien and Suspiria. This is a tough one as well. I think it's not as tough as the previous, or as tough as Shaun of the Dead and I Saw the Devil. I got to give it to Alien personally. I love Dario Argento, but Alien is fucking fantastic. I think it's got a better villain. I think it's got better characters overall. I think Suspiria might win in lighting and cinematography, but in set, Alien I think takes it. Yeah, I love Suspiria, but I got to give this one to Alien.
I agree. Suspiria is, like I said, my second favorite slasher of all time. But there are some performances in there that don't hold up. It is excusable because the movie is very nightmarish. It has a dream logic to it. And so I don't hold it against the movie that the performances are over the top. They're supposed to be over the top.
Yeah.
But the horror of Alien, the horror of Alien is still palpable to this day because those characters are so relatable. And because, despite the weird setting, they feel more realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alien. Cool. Halloween and Poltergeist.
A toughie.
I think there's more that I dislike about Poltergeist than there is about Halloween. So I'm going to go Halloween.
Yeah. I think this bottom of the bracket, or at least this matchup, is a Jared Lombardo matchup because these were both movies that I was vying for. I love them both. I think they're both something special. I think they're both influential and some of the peaks of their respective genres. However, I'm also going to give the edge to Halloween. I think I just like it more. That's all it comes down to. I think they're equally good movies, but I think I just like Halloween a little bit more.
I agree. All right. Round 4.
Fuck.
Quarterfinals. This is going to be tough.
Probably the hardest round looking at it.
Yeah.
We're kicking things off with a banger. Raw versus Hereditary. Two modern classics. I think the two giants of the modern era. I'm looking down. I guess Shaun of the Dead is another modern one here. But I think these are the two kind of true horror juggernauts as far as the modern films go. I'm going to give the edge to Hereditary. I think it's scarier. I think it's got a little more zhuzh to it. It left more of a lasting impact on me. But it's fucking close. Like, Raw is so good and so unsettling. It's got great characters in it. It's got an amazing style to it. But at the end of the day, I don't think there's a performance that beats Toni Collette's. And I don't think there's scares that... Well, Raw's not supposed to be scary. But I don't think the unsettling or taboo nature of Raw beats out the scariness of Hereditary, and so I'm giving that the edge.
I disagree. I think I think Hereditary is one of the best horror movies of the 2010s, but I think Raw is just one of the better movies, period, of the 2010s. I think I would even put it in a top 10 if I could do a top 10 for that decade. I think the script, I think the lack of clarity in Hereditary, especially in the way the supernatural works and the way the occult works, I don't really get it. Like, I know you're not supposed to understand the tension between fate and free will. I know that. But with movies like Rosemary's Baby, you see that every single step makes sense. Every single thing makes sense. That's the part those are the main weaknesses of Hereditary. I agree that it's not that Raw is not as scary, but I'm kind of crying because I feel for the characters in Hereditary, but I'm freaking curling into a ball and sweating when I watch Raw. And the first time I watched Hereditary, I was getting nightmares, but the first time I watched Raw, I was pumped up. So I don't know. Even though I'm leaning Raw, I feel very torn about this as well. I very much love Hereditary. Yeah, I don't know. How do you want to do this? Do you want to?
This one's pretty fucked up. I think I agree with you in the weakness of Hereditary, that it's one of those movies where you need like a Wikipedia page to like fully appreciate it. But I still think its positives might outweigh Raw a little bit. How do you feel about or do you have somebody on deck you'd like to call? I don't know many people who liked Raw or watched Raw, which
I can
is
call
where
my brother.
Yeah, he's seen them both.
He's seen them both. Do you want me to try, or do you want me to?
I think we could do that or flip a coin. We could just straight up flip a coin for it.
Should I call him and see if he picks up, or should I?
Yeah,
Should we
give
flip
him a
coin?
call.
Okay. If he doesn't pick up, we can flip a coin. I'm fine with that too. It's also possible he's in class. Cool. You can see it if he picks up. He is not available.
Dang.
Shit.
Coin flip?
I don't know if there's anybody else I can.
Yeah.
Shit.
I mean, maybe Renato's seen Raw. I can't say for certain, but I could try calling him.
Yeah, let's try it.
All right.
Because I know we're short on time too.
Yeah. If not, then we'll flip.
Hello?
Hello, sir. We're in a real tough spot right now, I'm going to be honest.
Okay.
First up, have you seen Raw? I don't know if we've talked about it.
Which one?
Raw?
Raw? Is it the French movie?
Yeah, the cannibalism one.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Okay, so we're in the semifinals, the hemifinals, and it's up against quarterfinals. Thank you. And it's up against Hereditary, and we're both pretty much split evenly on it. Any thoughts?
I have seen Raw, and I have seen Hereditary fairly recently. fairly recently, maybe like a couple months, but I think Hereditary is better. I think that's Ari Aster's like masterpiece thus far. Not to say that Midsummer was bad or nothing, but I think involving
They both only have two
some sort
movies.
of like, I guess, pagan kind of demon king thing.
Yeah.
But masking it like in a family drama that deals more so with guilt and trauma and forgiveness. I think it's just what Ari Aster does like really well, and I understand Raw. And I'm not taking anything away from Raw. Seriously, I'm not. I think Raw is another wonderful dissection of sexuality and of like the body and so forth, and having like it be more so like a transition in life, like going into college, was a really wonderful way to do it. I just think Hereditary does like horror in like a family setting insanely well, and I think that one just takes the cake for me.
Fair enough. I do want to let you know, when you said Hereditary is Ari Aster's masterpiece, Jared yelled, "They both only have two movies."
Well, you know what? Tell Jared that like, or he can hear me probably. So Jared, a masterpiece can be your first one. We just don't know it yet. I just think that it's gonna take a lot for Hereditary to be beaten, in my opinion.
All right. Fair enough. Thank you for your input. We'll take it under advisement. I'm not saying Hereditary won, but we will respect your opinion. Thank you again. We appreciate you.
No, proceed to talk shit.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Oh, and also,
Such a
anyways. So did that sway you toward Hereditary? Because it honestly, I'm still not super convinced. I'm still pretty tied, but I'm okay. I'm okay either way.
It didn't really, but this is a horror list, and I did, and while I do love the tension between two sisters, Renato makes a good point about the like family-based horror. It is kind of the idea of parents and children. Oh, my brother, he's texting me, but
we can move on and come back to it.
Yeah. Which do you think is better? I'll ask him. Okay. What's the next one?
The Thing and Shaun of the Dead.
Stupid. Dude.
Oh.
Did you go first for Raw and Hereditary? Or
yeah, this one's all you.
Fuck.
Can I guess what you're thinking?
Yeah.
In your head, I feel like you're going, man, The Thing definitely deserves to move on, but fuck, I love Shaun of the Dead a lot.
And I think I care about the characters more in Shaun of the Dead. And so the horror of Shaun of the Dead, when it does happen, because there is legit horror in it besides the comedy, when the horror happens, it's that much more dreadful and painful. And yeah, I got to give it to Shaun of the Dead, which is so
ridiculous.
Horrible for me to say.
Yeah. And I'm with you. The Thing is one of my favorite, like, true horror movies of all time. But Shaun of the Dead is just so good. It's just such a good movie that I'm in agreement. I think, regretfully, I have to abide by my own taste and opinion and move it on to the next round.
Yeah, I agree.
Rosemary's Baby and The Shining. Two real fucking heavy hitters. This one's close. I think if it was The Descent and Rosemary's Baby, I would go Rosemary's Baby. But the fact that we put The Shining through somehow makes it a harder decision for me. Just the weight that The Shining carries. But when I try to put legacy and outside influences and just listen to my heart, I think I'm feeling Rosemary's Baby a little bit more.
Yeah. I don't think Polanski's ever made a movie better than Rosemary's Baby.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure it definitely had influence on Kubrick as well. Especially in that early phase of Kubrick, it's and we haven't really talked about the supporting cast for Rosemary's Baby, but the supporting cast, I think, outdoes the Shining supporting cast for sure.
Yeah. The one character in the supporting cast of The Shining.
Yeah. Well, even just Lloyd and all those guys,
Yeah,
all the people in the hotel. Yeah.
So
Sorry,
you're giving it to
Shining.
Rosemary?
I am.
All right. Moving along, Alien and Halloween. What you got for us?
This one's a little easier for me. I'm going to go Alien because I think as a body horror, I think it's still to this day one of the best. I think as kind of, it's not really a slasher, but the way they kind of take out every character feels more plausible because you're not dealing with, you're dealing with professionals. You're dealing with smart people who make just one dumb decision, except for Ripley. And as much as I love Jamie Lee Curtis, as much as I love Halloween, I'm gonna go with Alien.
Yeah. I love Halloween a lot. This is the end of the road for it, though. Pretty much for every reason you said. I think Alien is just a better movie.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna call my brother.
Back to this. It also sucks, too, because I think either of these movies might beat out Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah. What's up? Is that your impression of me?
No, that's from a Denzel Curry song.
Let me take my headphones out so you can hear Jared. Or actually, Jared can hear you, so I think that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
But so you texted me that you put Raw over Hereditary. Why? What are your reasons? Because we both love both movies so much that it's very difficult to decide. Your face is not on the Jaredcast, so you can do whatever.
Just getting ready for class.
Okay.
Are you recording?
Yeah, we're recording, so you're.
You can't fart?
You can fart if you want.
Yeah, we're a pretty pro fart podcast.
Why is Raw the best horror movie of the 21st century? Is that what you're asking?
That's why I'm asking you.
It's the epitome of a story told in a postmodern lens. What is Justine's goal for the entire movie? She's trying to, I don't know, escape her family's, not past, but she's been in her family's shadow for the past, her whole life?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, she's put in a scenario where she thinks she's separate, but she's not. I'm not a good speaker.
So the reason.
Your reason, I'll just talk to you. Or where's the other Jared?
Oh, I think you could make the case that it's a real similar journey for the characters in Hereditary, but they just don't know it. They just don't have the free will in the situation. Whether that makes Hereditary a better movie or not is up for debate. I'm okay moving on Raw. I fucking love Raw. I'd be happy to see it move on. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Jared says that you can see the same thing in Hereditary, the same inevitability and the same failure to escape. But he also says he's okay seeing Raw move on.
Yeah, but there's no finger scene in Hereditary.
There's no what?
There's no finger scene.
That is true.
Okay. Alrighty. Thank you for taking time out of your day. Welcome to the Jaredcast, by the way.
Yeah. Pleasure.
All right. Have fun. Bye. Okay. Sorry.
I will
Sorry,
say
Hereditary.
the beheading scene has the same oomph as the finger scene. But that said, we're moving on to Raw and Shaun of the Dead.
What say you?
What say me is it's also a tie. I think this is also just dead even. We've been praising the hell out of Raw, but Shaun of the Dead is also just so good. So I don't know. I have no fucking idea what I prefer.
Yeah. It's easy to forget how great the Shaun of the Dead is as a zombie movie. And the fact that they accomplish that level of horror and that level of terror with slow zombies. You know, Train to Busan is scary because of the fast zombies. 28 Days Later is scary because of the fast zombies. But Shaun of the Dead, you see a person torn apart from the inside out. And it's really, really gross. It puts it on an even footing with Raw. What the fuck?
Yeah. I think Shaun of the Dead just has so much heart that I'm even leaning a little bit Shaun of the Dead.
They both have this really radical acceptance of kind of take me as I am with family. Yeah. And that's insane. That's insane. I didn't even draw that parallel before between Raw and Shaun of the Dead. Like, yeah, I love my family so much, but I need to get away. And then Shaun of the Dead, like, my friend is holding me back, but I still have to be there for him. Yeah. Yeah, it's so good. Are we doing what I think we're doing?
I think we are.
Shaun of the Dead. Stupid.
We're the worst.
I can't believe Shaun of the Dead made the finals, bro. This is so stupid.
The underdog. And now we got Rosemary's Baby and Alien.
What do you think? I think Alien.
I think Alien too.
Yeah.
I think
Rosemary's Baby
better.
Yeah, and Alien I think it functions better as it's more disturbing in the sense of body horror. You know, I don't want to take anything away from the devastating nature of the rape scene in Rosemary's Baby. It is really devastating, but it's not. Yeah, it's not what it is. It's not comparable to Alien. Yeah. Are we doing the bronze first?
Yeah, we'll do third place. Raw versus Rosemary. It's tough. It really is. I think we need to. Well, we don't need to. I think I'm going to give it to Raw just because I think it deserves the spot in the finals and got kind of cucked by Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, I agree. I think Raw.
It's the consolation prize. I don't know if it's a better movie than Rosemary's Baby, but I think given the circumstances, it just feels weird not to give it to it.
Yeah, and I think the use of music is better in Raw versus in not Shaun of the Dead, in Rosemary's Baby, because Rosemary's Baby has some great score, but the way that contemporary music and the way that diegetic music is used in Raw is really, really cool. I think it's one of the more underrated aspects of it. And they both kind of deal with sex in really disturbing ways.
The finals. Alien and Shaun of the Dead.
I had a feeling Alien would be in the finals. I did not see Shaun of the Dead making it to the finals at all.
I'm glad it did. I'm very happy to see it there. I don't see a way we can give Shaun of the Dead the victory, though. I think it's made a very great run, but I think this is where it comes to the end.
Yeah. If Shaun of the Dead has any advantage over Alien, it's in pacing, because the first 20 minutes of Alien are a little slow for first time viewers. But on the rewatches, I love the pacing of Alien. I think it's absolutely necessary, and I think it works super well with Ripley's transformation into a badass.
Yeah, absolutely. So to wrap things up, top 4: Alien, Shaun of the Dead, Raw, Rosemary's Baby. Brackets on your screen. I'm sure we'll post the blank and the results online. What a journey.
What a journey, man. Thank you for tuning in and sticking with us this long, if you have, for the Halloween special of the Jaredcast. Now you have 4 movies that you definitely need to watch this season. And now you have a great list of 32 movies that you can watch just next Halloween or on Halloween. Anything you want to leave the people with, Jared?
No, I'm real late for work, so I gotta go. But
oh, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. This was hella fun, though. This was maybe my favorite episode we've done. I had a blast.
Same. Yeah.
It's too long. I'll say that. It's almost 3 hours in.
Well, by the time I cut everything, it'll be 2:20 probably.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, audience. We love you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.